Hey, all you girls out there, you ready to have a good time? Welcome to the Alley Cat Hour. Here's Kitty.
You know it.
Meow.
Hello and welcome back to the Alley Cat Hour. I'm your host, Kitty, and thank you. Do it again.
Meow. I can't help it. Every time you hear that, I have to meow. It's like I'm Catman.
I'm your host, Kitty.
Yeah.
And I've got my lovely guest host. Again, we love him. He's recurring here on the Alley Cat Hour. Catman!
Meow.
Meow, 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 meow,
Have
meow,
you
meow, meow.
seen?
Thank you, Jason.
Have you seen that comedy SNL sketch
Which one?
with God? Who's in it? Will Ferrell,
What?
where he's born a dude. He's like, oh, congratulations, and then gets Charlie Sheen as the doctor. And,
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to look. It's
and Will
ringing a bell.
Ferrell is he gets birthed. He's like, he comes out a 34-year-old man. Like, oh, congratulations, you gave birth to a dude.
I love it.
And then his friends come in, and one of them is Catman, and all he can say is meow because he's like a week old. You know,
Oh.
he's like, that's Catman.
Catman.
Catman. There you go, the Catman song.
That's beautiful. I
So
love it.
Now we got to create a superhero surrounded around
Catman.
Let's
Done.
Let's make it happen. It'll be a children's coloring book
Oh my
in
God.
the spring.
Absolutely. Coming out
And
spring 2016.
then next Christmas, watch out for it in theaters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The animated full-length feature.
Catman.
Catman. I love
And it would still be Robin
it.
because it works, right? Catman and Robin.
Yeah. And then Kitty would be, what would I do? It'd be kind of like Catwoman.
The Joker would be like a dog.
Oh,
Like
that'd be
a real
hilarious.
annoying chihuahua. yeah. Still voiced by Mark Hamill, though.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
If you're listening.
Come on, Hollywood.
Trademark.
Let's make this happen.
The Alley Cat Hour. Let's do it. Let's do it with my production company that is starting up. Oh my God.
Plug. What was that?
I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know.
A duck and was here in the back of the head with that plug.
You know, my mom said, Caitlin, honey, subtlety's a virtue.
Like
And
a
I
raging
never got it.
elephant. That's what my friend used to tell me. He's like,
I'm not a
Patrick,
very good
you're as
elephant.
subtle as a raging elephant. And I'm like, wait, that's not very. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Bull in a china shop.
Yep.
That's another one.
Absolutely.
That's more for Grace.
Yeah,
Like-
that's like if you're dancing and
That's like you come into the studio.
hey.
Like
Oh my
a
God,
bull
that
in
kind
a
of is.
china-
I'm like, guys, I don't know what I'm doing tonight. Have you gotten my assets yet?
We hear things falling, breaking. Galen's here.
What happened just before the show? A
No
whole
kidding.
shelf came falling down.
You don't say.
Yeah. Hey.
What?
I'm not that bad. I mean, kind of, I guess. But
Just a little bit.
what are you going to do? So anyway, we're back on the Alley Cat Hour. And how have you been, darling?
It's been a weird week. Mercury and retrograde and all that.
Dude, it has been a really weird week, hasn't it?
Do you like subscribe to that whole nonsense?
Well, I got to tell you, the older I get, the more stereotypes I see be true more often than not. And so I start
are
to
they
understand.
really
them.
stereotypes then at that point?
No, I mean, they're just kind of mostly truths.
I'm taking these off because I'm wearing them all day.
And we want to see your lovely eyes.
No, you don't. These lights are really bright in here.
It is really bright.
I don't have my
Um,
mask on. My superhero mask.
Yes, Catman.
People want to see my true identity.
Exactly. Your Patrick face. I mean,
Oh, yes.
no, I think as far as astrology goes, there are reasons that it exists and the stereotypes exist. Like, I'm a Leo, but I'm a different type of Leo. Like, Alfred Hitchcock is my birthday twin. So
She
we're
said
like,
Hitchcock.
yeah, Hitchcock.
Anyway, really. So
Yeah,
do you
so-
find yourself writing really creepy movies all the time?
Oh my God, it's so funny you said that.
Really?
I wrote movies.
There you
I
go.
wrote one that we're making right now.
Whoa. Well,
What are the
that's what
odds
we
of
call
you
a
bringing that
segue. I'm sorry, I go on my walking a little bit. Sometimes I
No.
get really excited.
Thank you for getting
I
excited.
think it's actually a tick. Have you ever heard of The Walking Dead? The Walking Dead?
What are you talking? Is it Christopher Walken?
Like Christopher Walken, but like The Walking Dead.
Oh my god, I love it.
Oh, you got to watch on YouTube.
I'll have
It's
to see
amazing.
it.
It's like
So-
it's a zombie virus
Mhm.
that turns you into a zombie where all you want is to eat human flesh and you retain nothing but Christopher Walken quotes. It's like,
That sounds fantastic.
come closer. Why are you
Screw
running?
my move me.
Yeah.
Why don't we
Yeah.
just watch that all day?
Your movie. Don't hear that.
Hey.
I'm just kidding, baby girl. It looks amazing
Thank you.
because I've seen the Kickstarter movie.
Yeah, we've got a Kickstarter video.
Because she was on my show.
I was.
Geek Speak TV plug.
I love Geek Speak. We get
Geek
along
Speak.
really well. I mean, seriously, nerds and cats and the internet, it's the trifecta of awesomeness. It's the new holy trinity.
I'm actually still waiting for my birthday present, Miss Kitty.
Can I tell you that the girl that was on here 2 weeks ago, Erica, my friend,
Mhm.
the chef,
Mm-hmm.
she's gorgeous. She adopted her kitten, Theo. His
Really?
he's Theodore.
I'm waiting for my kitten because I want a black one.
Well, it's funny you should bring that up
Mhm.
because we're actually going to be talking to kittenrescue.org very soon because
today?
in my film, there's actually going to be a rescue cat built into the storyline because, what do? I take in animals.
That's another good segue. You're good at this.
That's what I do.
You're
what
really,
I do.
you're really good at this. So
Yeah.
back to your movie. It's all about
Thank
you
you.
on your show.
Thank you. No, but so we're talking to them and they have a huge fundraiser every year in November. This year it's going to be on November 8th
Okay.
and it's called the Fur Ball.
Okay.
And they put it on at the Skirball Center, and they bring all their celebrities together, and they do an event to raise awareness and funds for kitten rescue.
Mhm.
So I'm going to be attending to represent Excite Radio in the Alley Cat Hour.
Very cute.
Yeah, I'm very excited with our owners and founders, and I'm also going to talk to them about working with my film because there are a lot of causes built in. The film is about Alaska and the oil pipeline. So oil brings in money, it brings in jobs, it brings in work. We all drive cars, we all use energy. However,
Very true.
it's not the most efficient. We need to be responsible and open up conversations about fossil fuels and what we're doing. So I'm getting involved with a lot of organizations on this film, and I'm pretty damn excited about it.
Can you go into any more about the story yet, or is that you're keeping that on wraps for now?
Well, I'll tell you the beginning. The Pipeline is a story about a girl whose father dies, and
Mhm.
she's left a trust fund tied to a mysterious name.
Mhm.
Bum, bum, bum. So she has to find this other woman.
Is this based on a true story?
It is. It's based on a true event surrounding the building of the pipeline
Okay.
in Alaska.
What year?
The pipeline was built in the 1970s. Do you remember the 1973 oil crisis?
I was not alive then, but you might. But go
You've
ahead.
heard of it, right? Yeah. Some people might. But yeah, so there was a shortage of oil based on our consumption of foreign oil
Uh-huh.
because we were bringing it all into the States.
Mhm.
And after the 73 oil crisis and, the days and months and years that followed, they started looking at American-owned resources and ways that they could tap into our domestic oil.
Mhm.
And that's why the pipeline was built, because obviously Alaska is a land of many resources. There was a lot of oil, but not enough to sustain us farther than now, really. So they built the pipeline in the 70s. Why are you goofily looking at me? Is it because I'm such a nerd?
Yeah, sometimes no. I had a friend. You know how we're live right now. And
We are.
so-
We're live.
In case you guys don't know, this is actually happening now. I had a friend text me and I was like, I'm having a bit of an allergy attack because, I have allergies.
Yeah, you
from
do.
The kitties and the dogs we have here.
Yep.
But I love them so much still. And so I'm sitting here like rubbing my eyes and like not looking so happy. But we're on the radio for the most part, but we do have cameras.
We do have cameras.
And so my friend texted me and she was like, you look enthralled. I was like, yeah.
Thank you. What's her name?
Jessica.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks for listening, Jessica, you punk.
And watching us. And hey, Yost.
And making
shape
me-
up. You're on camera.
Hey, I'm putting my glasses back on. See? I had these on
Oh,
earlier
your
for that reason
allergies.
because I had allergies and I was like, I'm not going in there with my swollen eyes, but now.
Well, I'm going to give you a break real quick, and we're going to actually watch the Kickstarter video for the short film. The pipeline.
Right now?
Yeah, we're
Like,
going to set that up. And
this
just
is
gonna
live?
Put it on.
Like, this is happening right now?
This is happening right now. Get excited.
Oh my God.
Grab the popcorn.
I didn't bring my popcorn. Bring my popcorn.
It's okay. We'll make some.
Bring my
I'm a
popcorn.
producer on the pipeline.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Kazepis, and I play Dorothy Yacone. I'm also the writer of this story, and this is The Pipeline.
The Pipeline is a story about mystery, travel, and family. All against the beautiful backdrop of Alaska, New York City, and Los Angeles.
This is a story about two girls and their connection, which centers around the Trans-Alaska oil pipeline. Brooke Ann's father dies, and she is left a trust fund tied to a mysterious name.
My character, Brooke Ann, does some sleuthing and tries to find this missing link, a woman by the name of Dorothy. She hops on a plane to LA, and down the rabbit hole she goes.
The Pipeline is a narrative film that also incorporates the Native American tradition of storytelling. We've got Barry Corbin, who plays the strong cowboy type. He has worked with the Coen brothers, and he currently stars on the show Anger Management.
And we have Timothy Quill, wonderful actor who is in all of Sam Raimi's films. He's best known for The Blacksmith and The Army of Darkness.
In the past few years, over 10% of Sundance films have been crowdfunded, and we can't wait to be in the next one. I'm so excited. I'm very excited. So that's our Kickstarter video.
This is my favorite part of the video right here, though. It's just your sense of
Catman is looking at himself.
No,
What?
but Caitlin in the video was like, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, when Alexis says that we've got Tim Quill and he's just known for being the blacksmith in the Army of Darkness, and I'm like,
That's right, baby.
boom. No, it's a really
Give me some
good
sugar,
story.
baby.
I'm really excited.
I was talking about Army of Darkness today at lunch, as a matter of fact.
Get out.
Hand to Gad. Our listener, I was talking to our friend Jessica.
Mhm.
I was talking about how.
Hi, Jess.
Hey, hi again. She's got like 2
See?
plugs so far.
Now he's really excited.
Army of Darkness was
Army of
like.
Darkness! High five.
Dude. But I was saying, because we talk about horror movies
Mm-hmm.
and talking about Evil Dead.
Right.
And.
Time out real quick. Did you
Time
know that Bill Hader started making movies because he watched Evil Dead? Bill Hader.
Army of Darkness.
Brilliant.
Army of Darkness inspired me
anyway,
to make
go
cheesy
ahead.
movies. I was like, dude, I'm gonna make cheesy movies.
Dude.
Because I was always about, because I had a friend that was always about budget. You gotta get a budget. You gotta do things by the book, you know. And
Right.
I was like,
Film school. I mean,
Film
people
school,
act
right?
like that. Yeah.
and I was like, nah. But then I saw Army of Darkness and Kevin Smith, and I was like, you know what? Kevin Smith didn't do Army of Darkness, by the way. Just
No.
happens to be 2 different directors that
Right.
inspired me to make movies. Just go out there and make movies, basically.
Right.
Was
Pick up a
their-
camera,
and do
make
it.
your art.
So we're talking about Evil Dead
Evil Dead.
being a failure, and she wanted to see Evil Dead before she watched the new one. I was like, oh,
Right.
no, don't do that. And I was like, if you can, watch the new one first, because the new one is Sam Raimi's true vision of what he wanted a horror movie to be.
Right.
You know, Evil Dead was his learning how to make a horror movie and failing badly and it being funny and catching a cult classic following.
Right,
and-
because it was that low budget. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this, even though I'm not prepared.
So having Army of Darkness tie into your movie with Tim Quill is so exciting because I love Army of Darkness. One of my favorite top 5, I would say.
Dude, don't even get me started. When I was in college at Virginia Tech, Pat Hagen, Chicken Day, Cow Day, what's up? They took me. My friends in high school were unbelievably brilliant. They're all like aerospace engineers. I'm not even joking. When they, rocket science, I can do it. It's not rocket science. That's what most of us do. He actually does the rocket science part. But
Smart.
when we were at Virginia Tech,
Smart.
right? So smart. We stood in line. Bruce Campbell came and spoke, and we stood in line for autographs. They were really excited because they had a girl with them. So they gave me like $5 or $6
A
bucks.
real girl.
Yeah, human girl, not in chains.
Real girl.
No, it's joking. No, but so I'm standing there, and they gave me more than just because it was like one per person. And I had a couple, and I could have put them down in front of Bruce, and he just smiled and was super gracious and signed all of them. And I was like, stunned, jaw drop. And
That's
now
Ash.
our director, Michael Callio, he's basically Bruce's go-to editor.
Nice.
And they're very good friends.
Awesome.
Tim also, obviously, Tim Quill grew up with Ted and Sam Raimi.
Nice.
They all grew up making films. And I'm just blown away because Tim is in my cast. Brian Lally is in my cast, who's worked with James Franco. Anthony Scorti, who's on Scorpion, and also just wrapped Don Quixote with James Franco and his production company. It's Rabbit Bandini Productions.
Boom.
They're in. And then my dear love of my life, best buddy pal, Barry Corbin, is in there too. And he was in No Country for Old Men, and now he's, obviously, everybody knows him on Anger Management right now. He's hilarious.
Wow, it goes to show, Sam Raimi's story and Tim's story. You never know who your friend is going to end up being in 15, 20 years.
Right.
Who needs your help on shooting a stupid little project that you might not want to do on a Saturday afternoon. But what else are you gonna do?
Hashtag Army of Darkness. Hashtag Evil Dead. Hashtag The Pipeline.
Those things were made. Those things were made on a weekend on Sam Raimi's own personal budgets. And
Right.
it's like those are things that's the passion of making film. And
Exactly.
if you don't help out people, contribute to other people's projects, you're not gonna really go anywhere. You might get lucky, and you might get discovered, and you might become one of those directors. But no one has a Hollywood story was like, yeah, I did it all myself.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's a beautiful part. It's all collaboration.
Mhm.
I wrote this, and I realized there are two different. I'm being a screenwriter anyway. It's not like we're writing a book where people are definitely only gonna take the written word and create the stories and the visual images in their head. When you write for the screen, you write it with the intention of showing and telling. So it's an interesting concept. People say that it is an art and it's in and of itself. And then there's another school of thought. It is, absolutely. But there's another school of thought that is that, until you make it, it is only a screenplay. And there aren't people, in the regular world, a lot of people don't sit down and just read screenplays for the fun of it like they read a comic book,
No, a screenplay is written to be made into a film,
Correct.
and they're written, and talking about budgets, and collaboration.
Hi, my name is.
Yep.
It's not cheap to. Hi, I heard.
Hi,
Alexis.
Alexis.
Hi, Alexis.
Hi, Alexis.
Hi, she just want to say hi first, real quick.
She's omnipotent.
Yeah.
She is with us.
It costs money to make these things, and like I said, getting together and doing it on the weekend on your own budget, it's hard, it's difficult. But
It's
you want to do
very
something
difficult.
well,
Right.
it costs more money.
Which-
bottom line, it's just
Exactly.
It's just you want to do it well, more money. You do want to do it, you can do it low budget, but it's not going to be as well as you could possibly have done it if you had enough to pay people who know the camera, who know how
Right.
to light a scene properly. All that stuff is really important in making a good film.
Yep.
And nowadays you have a Kickstarter, don't you? I
And that's why we have the video that you got to see is our Kickstarter video. We'll show it again at the end of the hour.
Yeah.
But basically having a
Talk more about
Kickstarter
that.
now, I will. Having a Kickstarter helps you fund your own project. You look at, a lot of people found out about Kickstarter because of the controversy with Zach Braff. Remember when he did his film?
No,
And
I don't,
Veronica
actually.
Mars.
really.
Yeah, they did a Kickstarter.
Okay,
It's-
there is so much news. I don't know. Like
That's
someone
true.
was telling me earlier, like, oh, well, that's not really. Well, like, there's so much information going
Right.
on that I don't know everything.
Gotcha. Well, I will fill you in.
Despite
Basically,
my big head, I do not know everything. So there's things that I miss.
what is in there?
useless stuff like how to make a compass out of a leaf and a needle.
Really?
Yeah, I can totally how to do that.
Cool.
Totes.
Next week on the Alley Cat Hour. Just kidding.
Totes my goats, man. It's totally true. It's really awesome. I can make a knot. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah. So back to so Kickstarter, basically, to do your own project, and the reason that Zach Braff was under the gun and Veronica Mars, you're tapping into an audience that's already interested in your product. But Zach Braff decided to do Kickstarter because that's what his thinking was. He's like, I can raise funds and have complete creative control. I think a lot of people think just because you're a celebrity or just because you're in like one good movie or one good TV show that you have billions of dollars and that
What was
you
that
can
movie that he did that was brilliant with Natalie Portman? Garden State.
Oh, Garden State, yeah.
That movie was awesome. Did you?
Right.
You've seen?
That was an indie film. They did it on a low budget, and it was brilliant. But they did it through a studio, and it was an independent. I think it was independently sourced production company. But when you're with a big
Focus Films.
studio, Focus Films. Well, they picked it up. They
Yeah.
distributed it. But that's the thing. You make your product, and unless you have your own funds completely, 100%,
like George Lucas.
right? That's who can make a film without doing Kickstarter. If George Lucas does a Kickstarter,
That's just being lazy, George.
That's-
it's,
yeah,
just- it's like really,
he could pick up the.
you
he
can
could,
look at
like,
his couch and find $25,000. Really.
That's true.
He went-
New plan. Cancel the Kickstarter. I'm gonna
George.
go to George. Can I just look through your couch cushions?
Yeah,
and
let
find
us
my
clean your
film?
house, George, and we swear we'll come out like you guys look a little heavier.
Right? I know. Yeah.
Like what?
I think I could get heavier there.
You know what though? That's true, and yeah, I guess that's the inner workings of Hollywood. You know,
Because you want to keep creative control, and you do have to have money to do that. The reason that it is just completely integral to this project that we maintain control is that it is based on a true story. Number one, it's got vintage photography that my grandfather did. My friends are involved with this on intimate levels in Alaska. And then also it's sensitive subjects. We're dealing with causes and activism, Native American ideology and storytelling. We've got a little bit of animation in there. We've got, it's fossil fuels.
Question.
Yeah.
On that point, what kind of animation are you having exactly?
I
'Cause you
can't
mentioned it,
reveal
and I
it
was like,
yet.
oh, what
I
kind of
know.
animation?
I know.
Wait,
Geek
what?
Speak TV, they're going to want to know about
Yeah,
animation.
I was like, ooh, you got cartoons. I'm in.
Right.
So-
Well, this is the thinking. We sit there, and a short film for a lot of people is either a Pixar film
Mhm.
or it's one of those talking heads, just a quiet conversation indie film, and like it's all about like how smart we are. And I'm
Cigarettes will kill you.
just like, by the time, I'm seriously, I can't stay awake through that shit. So
Bongos in the background.
exactly.
Some black and white.
Right. Beat poet.
That's what I think. When I think short film.
Woman.
Yeah.
Mike Myers, shout out, right?
Whoa, man.
You're gonna cleave me. Oh,
Anyways,
God.
I love that movie.
Oh.
If you don't know,
So I married an axe murderer,
yeah, we'll
Mike
put-
Myers.
Yeah. Move.
He's gonna cry himself to sleep on his huge pillow.
It's so round and pointy at the end like Sputnik.
Oh, haggis.
Oh, haggis.
Oh man, God,
okay, anyway,
I love that movie.
segue back.
No, it's
What were-
brilliant. Yeah, so Kickstarter. So basically, we've got a lot of causes involved, and we want to maintain that integrity.
So what can I like? Part of Kickstarter is you contribute money, you get something back for it. That's the other part of it.
Absolutely, we have incentives.
So what's one of the cool like? Can I get a coffee mug?
I will make you.
I'm a coffee mug collector. So if you could put an incentive in there for a coffee mug.
That's a really good point. We have T-shirts, baseball caps. We have a blanket with vintage photography screen printed on it.
Ooh.
We have a hand painting at a certain level. You can become a producer at our Golden Circle level.
Now that's got a lot of perks to it as well.
Absolutely.
Just more than so. I mean, one tax write off.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, and a lot of people don't know this, but Kickstarter, it's a gift that you're giving someone to create a product. It's not that you're buying the product outright. So if you're giving money to someone as, not for profit for yourself or for an absolute product, then it is a tax write-off at the end of the year. In addition to that, we are working on being affiliated with causes and charity organizations for, environment, kitten rescue. And I'm very excited about being affiliated with those folks. So if you go in and you give a certain amount of money, you can say that you gave that to charity and write it off on your taxes for 2014.
And
That's
you'd
awesome.
be a producer on a short film. That's going to be
Yes.
going to film festivals.
We're making it specifically, I don't know if you know this, but having a female body in Los Angeles, California in the year 2014 is extremely controversial on some levels, and it could not be a better time in my opinion. I've been watching the news.
Like a female body, like what?
Well, if you have a female body yourself,
Like if I was a girl?
if you were a girl, yeah.
So you're saying it's a good time to be a girl in LA?
It's a great time to be a girl or a woman.
Okay.
in
I'm
LA.
happy. I'm happy with
Yeah.
my penis status.
Right. Well, see, that's great. And a lot of people are. However, instead of having penis envy,
But you
I
see,
get to
it's
make
good,
movies.
It's good for a woman to be here in LA right now making films.
Well, yeah, because women are actually extremely underrepresented in the entertainment industry, and it's just kind of come to light. And also female-fronted film. We have two strong lead female characters, and we sit down and we talk to each other, not about who we get to date or like what my nails are or like, what I was going shopping for this weekend. So it's actually less common than you would hope or think or even possibly comprehend.
That's interesting.
So now women making film, being director, being a writer, being a producer, a few years ago was kind of unheard of, and now people are like, wait, we heard that it was unheard of. That's not right.
Except for Penny Marshall.
Exactly.
Penny Marshall was like, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that was the
Yeah.
exception.
Yeah.
So now that it's not the exception anymore, it's a great time because we have a good product, and people are excited about getting behind. And we've said this before. I think I said it the first time on your show was the time that I verbalized how I really feel about gender.
Hmm.
Do you remember?
Remind me again. For our fans who didn't hear.
I said, and I quote to myself, of myself.
The Raven.
Oh
Go ahead.
my God, it's another So I Married an Axe Murderer reference. Anyway, I said gender is a mirage. And what I meant was, as far as intelligence goes and the idea and the ability to do things equally on a number of levels is there. Doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. There are exceptions, there are strengths, but that's within an individual, not just within a specific gender.
Yep.
And it's coming to fruition now, and I'm excited about being part of it. My film is not like, kill all the men. We hate penises. It's not that. It's actually more,
Thank God. I
Hey,
can't
let's
see another
have-
one of those movies.
ladies, stay tuned. I'll make that one for you. No, just kidding. God, what a horrible movie that would be. I'm scared already.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, no, it's about being equal. So men and women being represented equally, not just a female film, like with an all-female cast, because quite frankly, I like to look at a man or two.
Or two, she says. or two.
Hey, I'm a single lady.
So what's up with production? Are you guys like filming, gonna be filming, film some of it?
Yeah, we're in. We can actually slap up some pictures. We've got a bunch of pictures.
I'm the master of segue.
You're fantastic. We've got a bunch of pictures from pre-production, and we've actually shot some B-roll, and then we have our Kickstarter video. You can see a little bit of the footage. We've got some beautiful footage of the Northern Lights in Alaska, where I grew up.
That's like
we've
she's
got
Alaskan. She's Eskimo.
A lot of the photographs that you're seeing right now, my grandfather took.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yep.
Do you have that as an option for an incentive, like a photo book of your grandfather's photography?
Yep, we have it. Even starting at the $50 level, you're going to get some true prints of vintage photography.
Nice. How pretty.
And yeah, isn't that gorgeous? And she's an actual Inuit princess, Athabaskan, actually. And this woman here, let's pause here for a second. This woman, on the back of the photographs, my grandfather was very, very organized, but unfortunately, all that stuff is stored right now. So we have tons and tons of slides and negatives that still need to be archived and digitized.
Mhm.
But this woman, he had written on the back of this print. I had a couple of these in 8x10 sizes. And in his handwriting was written, Maureen Reich, Miss Arctic Circle, 1980, Fairbanks, Alaska. And so when I started doing the film and I was looking at all the photographs and I was picking some of our promotional photography, I saw this picture and I've always loved it. I grew up looking at this because my grandfather was an international photographer, and he specified with indigenous peoples, wildlife, and birds and butterflies. And this woman was Miss Arctic Circle. It's actually like a beauty pageant, but it has to do with culture and how you represent your culture. And
She's definitely representing that.
right? Isn't it
She looks
amazing?
adorable.
Isn't that gorgeous?
And that looks really comfortable.
Yeah, it's a parka. It's a native made parka that her great grandmother made. And I found this woman on Facebook. They had a Miss Arctic Circle group, and I asked to join. And then I put up the picture, and I said, "Does anybody know who this is?" And within 3 minutes, someone had looked at it and spread it. And this woman and I got in touch. And she's married now. She has a different last name, which is why I couldn't find her. She's still gorgeous. And the beautiful part is she never had a full picture of the parka. My grandfather had done her in a few different outfits, and so he sent her those photographs, but none with the parka, because I guess he
With
just
this
didn't
one
have them
in particular.
developed, right? And her grandmother was buried in this parka because her great-grandmother made it, and it was, it's a respect that you pay. And she was thrilled. She said it made her day, and now we're friends.
Huh. Yay, Facebook.
The internet.
Right? That's amazing.
So,
It's a great story.
isn't that beautiful? And that's kind of the pipeline is about family reconnecting. And when this happened, I'm not going to get emotional, but it made me think about how today we have the ability to reach out to so many people and find our family and stay in touch with our community and understand when current events are happening. It's
Yeah.
very hard to hide a horrible story now because almost everyone has a cell phone, has a camera phone, has a camera on them.
Very true.
So it's an interesting, and that's another theme of the story is that journalistic aspect, how we look at our world and how we portray it, and whether or not we tell the truth.
Yeah, that's a big one, isn't it?
Shoot.
In what we do. Like, cause one of my friends earlier was like, "You guys aren't really news." I'm like, "Well, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Like we do try to follow a certain type of protocol, even though our shows are entertainment based.
Yep.
Like if something were happening right now, we would stop and break and cover that because we have a responsibility to people who are listening to us.
Exactly.
Because we are a radio network.
We're a media outlet, and
Yes.
even though we are free media,
Yeah.
uncensored and unlicensed applications, and we're syndicated in
Mhm.
60 different countries,
Mhm.
the responsibility to put our voice on those airwaves,
Mhm.
dude, this is
There's a certain price that comes with it. It is
Exactly.
not completely free. It's like, yeah, we would have to, and because I have a problem with when somebody who does something that we do,
free speech.
who creates, he does a lot of like, I call them yellow stories. He creates fake stories to create
Like The Onion?
traffic to his site, and it's not quite like The Onion. Because he also reports on truth,
Oh, okay.
complete truth. And so as a reader, I'm like, well, I don't understand if you're telling the truth or not when I'm reading this, and so I can't take you seriously when you call yourself a reporter,
Right.
because you kind of make things up sometimes, and we don't
Does
do
he
that here.
specify in
No.
his?
No.
See, that's what my problem. I have a
Yeah.
problem with not specifying the truth when
Yeah.
you're reporting. Like obviously, large media outlets have a responsibility to the general public
Like CNN?
or Fox News.
We went there.
We did.
Yeah, totes.
Up top. What does the Fox say? I don't know.
What?
Check in with your
He doesn't.
politician sponsor.
The Fox doesn't know what the Fox says, because
Yeah.
I was talking about that. I was talking about that earlier about wanting to come in and talk about a clip I saw recently
Mhm.
about Jesse Ventura.
Oh yeah,
And he covered. Have you seen his
wrestler
conspiracy-
turned politician.
turned conspiracy theorist?
Oh no way.
Yeah.
I lost tabs on him
The
after.
last thing you want is Justin Ventura coming knocking on your door.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's kind of good, Jesse Ventura, wasn't it? Yeah,
No,
but that's what he
way.
does. He comes in like,
So what's going on in here?
yeah, and he's like, we
Are
get
you
like
serious?
nitty gritty and with the cameras and yeah. So he did this whole thing with the CDC and their like little jails that they're setting up all over the country. I'm like, what's up with these things going on?
Mhm.
There's no answer. And then this was done like 5 or 6 years ago, and now with our current situation of Ebola, he's like, there needs to be something that basically kicks off the martial law state that the government's been preparing for.
Right.
And
But we have to have checks and balances, and you also have a responsibility to the public. Like, why doesn't everybody know that aliens have been here and do exist yet? They should know because they do.
the truth is out there, man.
I want to believe.
The truth is out there. It is out there. You just and like the reason why I love Ancient Aliens is because it's the logical.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it's not like it's making anything up, right? It's just going.
That's my
straight.
heart beating. Good
To me, Ancient Aliens goes straight for the logic.
Yep.
It's like, okay, we as smart society have said these people didn't know what they were thinking about. They had primitive ape monkey minds. So
Yeah.
they didn't know how to make a human being in proper perspective. Or
Right. They didn't have Google Glass, so obviously they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
Duh.
Yeah. I think we
Kim
can-
Kardashian totally didn't go there and
Oh, yeah. We're like the
model
fourth
their
or fifth
fashion,
generation
so.
of this type of human being, on this planet, at least, I would say. And it came with some experimentation, some mishaps,
Yep.
some things have happened, but just like the stories say, if you go back to my favorite is the Anunnaki and the ancient Sumerian religion.
Oh, that's a great one.
It's like, that's the best one ever because it's like, it goes back to the root truth. And everyone, because, I drive for one of those companies.
Right.
Everyone, we always end up getting into ancient alien conversation on the drive, and it's so funny because no one hears this story, and so by the time I tell them the story, they get out of the car like, "Oh, dude, I am so believing that," because it makes the most sense.
Because they haven't heard it, yeah.
And it's just logical. It just makes with the church now, the Vatican knows.
The Vatican does
Yeah.
know. Da Vinci Code was not lying. The
No.
truth is the truth is out there in Vatican
Vatican's got
City.
it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's going on.
Think about that though. The Vatican is like the oldest country ever in existence. It's been around since forever.
It's a city state, isn't it?
Yeah, it's its
City
own
state, yeah.
little. It's got its own army.
Yep.
It's got its own bank. It's got. Yeah, you don't mess with the Vatican.
Right.
They have been around. They have seen countries come and go. Things have fallen. Countries have given them their stuff as the country's going out. It's like, hey, we're going out, so here's some of our precious stuff that we need you to safeguard for us because we might not be around in the future.
Yep.
The Prussians, there was a
Right.
country called Prussia once. Yeah. So
Crazy.
yeah. So the Vatican.
Remember the USSR? When I remember
that.
I remember. I remember. I think
I
I
used
was
to
in
be afraid of-
Alaska. I was very little, and I remember learning the countries and seeing the map, and it was the entire like extreme Eastern Hemisphere, all of it, mostly was the USSR, and I was like, "Usser."
Wow.
I thought it was Usser.
Yeah. I remember thinking that was the enemy because of Red Dawn.
Oh yeah, the Reds, the commies are coming.
And I was
The Cold War.
I was so intimidated by the size of that country.
It's
I
not
was
the
like,
Cold War in here. It's a million degrees.
it was like, that is a big piece of land, and we're so small. They're like, the comparisons of like,
Obviously,
take us
they're gonna
over.
take superpowers. They called us superpowers.
Mhm.
It was Russia and the United States, and this was true when we were babies, when we were little.
I think it was all a lie. I think they were just, they're setting up today.
You think they just didn't want to do another version of the textbook? They're
I
like,
think- It's
let's
Bush.
not tell them.
I'm gonna blame Bush. I blame Bush for everything. The old Bush, the senior Bush.
Oh, I was about to say, wait, when? I don't think he was
The
in
CIA
office.
the CIA
I remember
Bush.
him. So
Yeah, because he was the director.
Georgia,
Yeah, that dirty old man.
tell us how you
Yeah.
really feel.
Yeah,
We got
no.
political here.
Yeah, we did. How did that
Speaking of
happen?
being political, the pipeline is about oil
and politics.
and politics.
obviously,
And
'cause
I don't know
oil.
if you know this, but fossil fuels, it's a hot button issue. It has been for a long time. But right now, oh my God, Jason.
Oh, he put the air on.
Okay, yeah, sorry. That probably came across wrong
That's
for
like a
those
big
of you
cake.
not watching.
Whoa, she totally just did.
I'm
looking at her, so I know exactly why she did that. But I just heard
the fan came on. The
Yeah.
cold air. I'm from
Anybody listening
Alaska.
at
I
home, we're
need my
sorry.
breeze. Yeah, it's not that type of show. It could
She's
be.
like, oh, Jason.
Just turn up the
There's
AC.
one for you, Jason. For me.
Oh, anyway,
Oh, Jason.
that's gonna be a GIF
Put
on
that
the
in,
internet.
put that in your bank later.
You guys have a bank? I know what it is. Shut up. You know, I'm a huge Howard Stern fan. I feel like we're digressing into.
bank. Yeah.
Anyway, no, but so okay, where were we? Fossil fuels.
He is a married man. Stop flirting with him.
I'm not flirting with him that way.
I'm talking to me. I'm talking about me flirting
Oh,
with Jason. I'm
yeah.
correcting
And
myself.
she is beautiful. I love her.
I couldn't take her place. That's for
She
sure.
helps me with my cats.
Oh,
Love you.
some international
Um,
cat love.
Oh, international cat love, absolutely. From my country to yours.
Oh, that's adorbs.
Seriously.
But go ahead.
Fossil fuels.
Fossil fuels.
So-
Terrible.
Well, the thing is,
Horrible.
speaking of ancient aliens, we're gonna get into Caitlin territory.
Whoa, did you see that?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, so what is oil made out of?
Dinosaur bones.
Right? All right, when people ask me what my religion is or my
Dinotopia.
political beliefs, I say dinosaurs. And here's my reasoning.
You gotta find a better word than dinosaurs when they say religious beliefs. Because you
Why?
can't just say dinosaurs. And you could come like a dinosauritonian or something like that. Something.
Oh, so it sounds religious?
You can't just say dinosaurs. People
But
get
it's
you kinda-
both. It's like the
Dinotopian.
oh, Dinotopia may work.
What is it?
Dinutopian, so it's like utopia, but dinos.
Did you see that TV show Dinotopia or read the book?
No,
Well,
I remember.
But they live side by side with
Yep, with
dinosaurs.
humans.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually had a religion but they did have some sort of faith that they
Yeah.
shared.
I'm
But-
not sure.
Look at it. Maybe
Well,
try
my thing is, they lived on the earth the longest amount of time
ever.
ever.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of years.
We still haven't reached our.
And we are still worshiping them. Every time you go to the gas station, you are worshiping dinosaurs. Just saying it. Hashtag I'm right. So this is my point.
That's a new hashtag for you folks
we
out
wanna
there.
respect-
Hashtag I'm right. That's like hashtag drop the mic. It's one of those
Thank
that's
you.
just definitive. Hashtag I'm right.
Suck a bug.
Yeah.
Suck a bug. Go suck a
Hashtag
bug.
suck a bug.
Yeah, well, I was trying to think of that. Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. I guess I'll go suck a bug. Apparently that's
eat a
not the
worm.
way it goes. Eat a worm.
Yeah. But whatever.
I'm
Suck-
not drinking tequila.
Suck a bug.
I'm sucking a bug. Right?
Yum.
Like an anteater.
Yum.
Stop it. Anyway,
She's
so
making
dinosaurs.
obscene noises over here.
I know. Who would have guessed I do voiceovers? Anyway,
What
I do voices. Oh, Robin
the-
Williams.
So fossil fuel. Oh.
Remember? I do voices. And Mrs. Doubtfire, when she's interviewing him at the unemployment office. Which, by the way, please support my Kickstarter so I don't have to do that.
Yeah, I thought it was funny once until I met you.
Right.
But you changed that for me.
Thank you.
Thank you. I say that to people all the time.
I love it.
When they don't think I'm funny.
What do you do? I do voices. Yeah, Robin Williams. Oh, in my heart and soul. Well, okay, all right. Dinosaurs and Robin Williams.
Okay, so
There we go.
so what is your belief? So you believe that we worship dinosaurs
Well-
still by pumping their bones into our car?
Absolutely. And then to continue worshiping them, basically, we've been kind of just overusing our power here. It's like if you're going to take communion, you don't grab the wine carafe out of the priest's hands and like guzzle that whole thing back.
I've seen that happen before.
You do that on Saturday.
I've seen that
But
that's
in
happened.
communion, while you're giving respect, you take a very tiny thimbleful to represent your love for the dinosaurs.
Everything in
for
moderation.
Jesus,
Everything in moderation.
the blood of Christ.
So you're saying Jesus was a dinosaur?
I'm saying it's the same thing. I'm saying that some people have Jesus, I have dinosaurs.
Okay.
In a different respect. What I'm trying to say is that when we are still utilizing fossil fuels as a resource, when we have technology to get power from the sun, which is clean, renewable energy, we can do it from wind power. We can get energy from static electricity, for crying out loud. And yet we still maintain that it is more feasible to get a bunch of equipment, a bunch of guys, take a bunch of material, and then drill into the earth and then suck that oil out of the earth and then take it to other people, when we could really just put a little screen out and suck energy from the sun without hurting anyone. So what I'm saying is that we have sped up our climate change. We have sped up our use of resources, and we need to be a little more respectful. It needs to open up a conversation. I am not a scientist.
Al Gore was right.
Al Gore was right.
He was. People laughed at him. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. And my grandparents, my grandfather that took those beautiful photographs, he's an international wildlife photographer. He traveled all over the world. I grew up in Alaska, and he has photographed cities in Alaska, tiny little villages. By the way, they don't exist anymore. Want to know why?
Flooded.
They're flooded. Why are they flooded?
Water rising.
The water is rising. Why is the water rising?
Ice caps melting.
Because the ice caps are melting. Why are the ice caps melting?
Global warming.
Because of global warming.
See? People.
Thank you.
Like, we've done something that I don't think any human race has done
And-
since the Atlanteans,
Right,
which is we use nuclear weapons.
right.
We really, 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 like, that alone, how many times we've used them alone is bad.
Right.
Like, we've put so much poison and God knows what into our atmosphere just with that alone.
Yeah.
And then we burning as much cars. I mean, we got 3 or 4 or 5 family cars,
All the time.
People driving by themselves everywhere.
Yep.
It's
And then
one of
with electric cars, I got to tell you, the chemicals that they have to use to make those batteries it's
No bueno.
actually, by the way, it's as bad, if not worse, on the environment. And there's no way to feasibly and safely recycle those
right
batteries
now,
as of now.
we're going to start hitting a problem right now because all those early hybrid cars that were bought are going to start having the batteries changed out.
Right? And where are those batteries going to go?
We have no idea.
We're going to have to shoot them into space.
Yeah, we have
I
no
mean,
idea where they're going to go.
they're highly toxic material.
Yeah,
It's
we
highly
can't
toxic
bury
material.
them because that just is a big clusterfuck.
Right.
So
Well, there goes our water source.
Yeah. So, and these things, they have to be changed out every 6 to 10, 12 years, I
Mhm.
think, something like that.
Right.
And they cost $6,000 a pop.
Yep. And
On
they
top of that.
knew how bad it was going to be.
Yeah. And they said,
When
we'll deal
they
with it
were
when we get
creating-
there.
Exactly. And
Fuck asses.
we're there.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
uncensored.
Yeah.
NSFW.
Yeah, sorry. This whole show just went to rated R.
Right? Environmental.
Well, the bad part, like I was telling my friends earlier before the show, I don't want to die prematurely.
Right.
Like if I'm gonna die,
We
I
were
want to
speaking
go.
about Ebola. You said that as well.
I want to go out on my terms, which is
Right.
like fighting a grizzly. You know, something where it's like natural, a
If
natural
grizzlies
death.
still exist, we're killing them off
Right,
too.
they're all gone. I can't have the death I wanted. Okay, I want to go out fighting a grizzly or something heroic, like saving children.
I wanted
from
to
a
go
burning
down fighting
house.
a shark.
Whatever, you know.
We're
just
killing
go-
off sharks too.
Oh no, not a shark, because that's just a no win. I mean, at least with a bear.
That's
I
the
had a
point.
chance.
You're going out.
I want to go with these. I mean, sharks gonna want to walk away.
We'll
full.
talk about leaving
Like,
this earth in a minute.
I want the bear walking away like, God, that guy was tough. Like,
Oh, okay.
Sharks can go like, where's the next meal? I'm a shark guy. That was easy.
I think it's
Yeah.
beautiful that way. Also, I like returning to the ocean instead of
You can go pooped out by a shark.
into the ocean.
Gross.
Anyway, you were saying. Sorry.
What was I saying?
For the bear shark conversation, we were talking about the environment, our
Oh
responsibility.
yes, we've sped up we're gonna either explode this planet, you know, it's gonna blow up,
Mhm.
or you know, we're gonna just die. We're gonna poison ourselves. Like they're dumping stuff into our water because
Right.
we don't know how to get rid of waste properly anymore.
Right.
We're extremely overpopulated. Now we got Ebola to deal with.
Yeah.
So man, it's not like. So again, like I think we talked about it on my show. Did
Yeah.
we talk about staying home, be responsible?
Yes, stay
If you're sick-
home. If you
yeah.
feel sick, by the way, with
Just
the
for
Ebola
your
virus.
listeners.
Yeah, since,
For your
yes,
listeners.
absolutely. Since we're talking about journalistic responsibility, we definitely want to advise everyone, if you are feeling sick, number one, stay home. Number two, please call your doctor. If you do have any of the symptoms of Ebola, make sure that you go and take care of that because it is highly contagious. And as we were speaking about earlier, we really can't track exactly how it is contracted because it is definitely evolving as we speak.
Yeah, we don't know how you can track that. And if you do deal with somebody who you know has Ebola, like those nurses that are now
Right.
sick, don't go traveling right away. You know, you have a response. You take a Hippocratic oath, you know, which is like to maintain
Yep.
like, a certain responsibility to other people. Traveling after dealing with those people when we don't know how this thing was working is very irresponsible. You're breaking your oath, basically.
Right.
You should stay home and wait for the incubation period, which is like a week.
Yeah, it's
It's
I
a
think
week
it's
or
like
two.
9 days or something.
It's a week or two for the safety of mankind. This is not just you and your party pals. This is not about making a
Right.
wedding.
Making a wedding.
Yeah,
Seriously,
yeah,
I mean,
somebody-
I
she went
hope
to a
there was
wedding.
an open bar and she got laid.
Oh my god!
'Cause I
hope
don't
not,
know.
because she would spread it at that point.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, don't get laid. Stay home. Put a wrap on that. Don't. Yeah, seriously, especially right now.
I was gonna say if you're gonna like
I would
take
say
a risk
even-
like
I would
that, it
even-
should be
I would
worth
even
it.
say
That's what I
couples
meant.
right now start
I'm
using
joking.
condoms just in case. You know, who knows how this thing is gonna like be spread. You know,
It's true.
some people might be immune, like we saw in The Stand. Stephen King's The Stand.
We talked about Stephen King
Oh my
earlier.
goodness, that's scary.
By the way, The Pipeline is not a horror film.
No.
We're actually utilizing a few cast members and crew members that have worked on horror films. But as we spoke about earlier, these people have worked on low budget films, and we're also working, together to create. It's a mystery. There's a mystery there, but it's a drama. It's a narrative film.
Because it
so-
looks dark.
Well,
But it's
there are
not
dark.
scary.
Yeah, there are dark concepts involved, but we're also going to have animated storytelling that's Native American. And I got to tell you, I grew up listening to those stories, looking at my grandfather's photography and the artwork, and
That's really cool.
I'm really excited.
Alaska's one of the last most beautiful frontiers left.
That's why I'm making this film now, especially with fossil fuels. I don't know if you know this, but
What's the alternative to, like, okay, we can't go electric or hybrid because,
Right.
the batteries.
solar.
Completely solar. And life has to
Solar
slow down
electric.
people.
I mean, electric energy.
And that's the other thing, too.
can
People don't like the idea of solar-powered cars because they do go slower. They don't have as much horsepower.
Right.
Okay, so it's
Right
time to look
now,
at
the thing
common
is,
good,
we
you
have
know,
it.
the
Well,
greater good.
that's the thing. This is what's happening right now. Like the Rockefellers have a grant foundation, and they also have money invested. These are huge corporations and huge firms that take chunks of money. Like, oh, I don't know, my $15 billion. I'll just live off of my $1 billion, and we'll invest this $15 billion in this type of research or this type of company. And up until now, as of like a month ago, I'm not even like we're in pre-production. I'm sitting there and I'm going through the news articles, and it says the Rockefellers just announced that they are divesting, which means taking their money out of all fossil fuel companies and putting it towards renewable resource research. And that's what needs to happen. That's the switch you're talking about. The only way that we're going to move forward is if companies like that are responsible and they take their investment money, because obviously it comes back to money, and you do the research to find renewable resources. I'm sure that solar energy, I mean, We've got the Northern Lights in Alaska. You know what that is? That's electromagnetic storms.
Electromagnetic energy.
They are
That
fed.
has spaceships in it, by the way.
Doo-doo-doo.
Have you seen that footage?
Yes.
That was freaking crazy.
I didn't believe it. I was
I
like,
just happened
that's
to
got to
saw-
be
I just saw that
photoshopped, but
last
it may be
night.
real. I don't
saw
know.
that
Do we
last
know
night
if it's
on
real?
The photographer claims it's real. NASA says it's a solar flare.
Well, that's
But-
the thing, that solar flares cause electromagnetic storms in our atmosphere.
But
So
that
that's,
was a whole separate object.
I
amongst
completely
that.
agree. It was completely
And-
different.
Yeah, and it had a movement on it.
That's
too.
why I thought it was fake.
And
Because I was
they
like,
had more than one shot as well.
yeah,
And it was like
different angles.
levels. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, that was no way. And that's basically the theory of the whole pyramid,
Yep.
Charging the universal
Yep.
grid.
Yep.
Ending at the northern lights.
the lat lines. Well, I mean, the thing is that
Aliens.
solar flares have more energy in them than an atom bomb. These are
Yeah.
this is if you look at the sun,
It's
the
like-
amount of energy that it takes, the amount of fuel that it burns.
It's like 300 atom bombs. Like every
It's
little
unbelievable.
flare that
Yep.
goes up like that.
And so
yeah.
the northern lights are basically, when they say it's an electromagnetic storm, that is what it is. It's our atmosphere reacting to the solar flare coming towards our atmosphere. So it's gorgeous and it's beautiful, and obviously it won't touch us unless there's a huge solar flare, and then, you know what, we're all dead.
It can't handle it, basically.
Well,
It wouldn't-
if
it
we
wouldn't-
weaken our atmosphere,
Which, like we're doing.
it makes us vulnerable to a lot of things. Scientifically, we don't know. I mean, I'm not a
Look at our
scientist,
temperatures.
again.
Our temperatures are gently rising because we're constantly being bombarded by our sun, and we don't have that extra layer of
Right.
atmosphere
So
to
the
protect
ozone
us.
layer is very important, and we are destroying it at a rate that it hasn't been destroyed
Ever.
yet. Right.
In the
So we
history
don't-
of this planet.
So people are like, well, it always changes, everything evolves. Absolutely. But it may not sustain human life.
Nope.
It may just sustain Ebola life.
Yeah. You know what's going to happen exactly? Our planet is a huge living, breathing thing. And once it figures out that mankind is what has been causing it to die, it's going to go extreme on us and kill us with either a big ice storm
Right.
or a big heat wave, or it's going to be a big tidal wave. It's going to create something that's going to wipe us out like a cancer.
Right, exactly. Because it takes care of itself. It's just like
Mhm.
our human body. You have those red blood cells, those white blood cells. They'll attack foreign objects or disease. Guess what?
Welcome to Earth, bitches.
She's alive. And she's taking us down.
That's a cool horror movie, right there. It's
That's
like
great. The Earth
Earth
atta-
comes alive.
High five.
We
Trademark.
got that.
Son of a
That's
Biscuit
ours.
Productions. We're
You can't
making
get
that.
That's all us
Cut
here.
the footage. Cut
Yeah.
the feed.
Cut the feed.
Cut the feed.
Before it gets
kidding.
out there. Too late.
Damn alive it.
Well, that's another thing. Getting back to the Kickstarter, we're
Mm.
gonna show that one more
Segue.
time, if that's okay, because
Segue.
I just love it. And you can look for the Northern Lights in there. You can look at me and Alexis talking about it. You can look for Barry and Tim's pictures, but also the Native American storytelling. The thing is, with Native Inuits and Native Americans, they lived responsibly. Living green is a very old concept. My grandparents, when I was a baby, like we're talking, and they started this before me. They started this in the 60s, if you can believe that or not. My grandmother and my grandfather would take their bags to the grocery store.
Yep.
Everywhere they went, to the Piggly Wiggly.
Yep.
They were the first people to ever do this. And until last year, we're talking about 65 years or so since they started that. My grandparents were so ahead of the curve because they had traveled and because they understand the earth, because there's that Native American responsibility theme that they were so close to and championed so much. They started taking their own bags. Just last year in LA County, it became illegal in some areas. There are still places where you can get plastic and paper bags, but that's the type of thing when people say recycling doesn't make a difference and, whatever, I'm not going to be around anyway. Okay, yeah, good point, but that's really just,
Short-sighted.
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And those are the people, hashtag Ebola. Get
Yeah,
it? I just
jump
changed
on-
it. It's
jump-
not YOLO.
Ebola.
It's Ebola. Hashtag Ebola. Whenever anybody does anything really bad or horrible or selfish, I'm going to be like, yo, rapist. Hashtag Ebola. That's right. You heard it here first. Anyway, enjoy our Kickstarter video again. Please go online and pledge some money, and we'll be back in just a second.
Hi, my name is Alexis Iacono. I play Brooke Angraziano. I'm a producer on The Pipeline.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Kazepis, and I play Dorothy Yacone. I'm also the writer of this story, and this is
The Pipeline. The Pipeline is a story about mystery, travel, and family. All against the beautiful backdrop of Alaska, New York City, and Los Angeles.
This is a story about two girls and their connection, which centers around the Trans-Alaska oil pipeline. Brooke Ann's father dies, and she is left a trust fund tied to a mysterious name.
My character Brooke Ann does some sleuthing and tries to find this missing link, a woman by the name of Dorothy. She hops on a plane to LA, and down the rabbit hole she goes.
The Pipeline is a narrative film that also incorporates the Native American tradition of storytelling. We've got Barry Corbin, who plays the strong cowboy type. He has worked with the Coen brothers, and he currently stars on the show Anger Management.
And we have Timothy Quill, wonderful actor who is in all of Sam Raimi's films. He's best known for The Blacksmith and The Army of Darkness.
In the past few years, over 10% of Sundance films have been crowdfunded, and we can't wait to be the next one. Right.
Boom.
So that's the Pipeline. The Kickstarter is important because I do want to maintain control over this project. And I also am really excited about involving people that I know. If there's anybody that wants to be in a film, we're going to give, some of the incentives or voiceover roles in a SAG project. We're doing this union as well, which is very important to me because a lot of the projects you do out here, if they're not union, they're just like, oh yeah, we'll just, sign this away and you work for free. And as artists, we work for free anyway because we love it and we create creative product. We can't stop. You couldn't pay me to stop doing it. However,
You can pay me to do it more.
you can pay me to do more. Yeah. And be able to share it. And that's the point. We're going to take it to major film festivals. I've worked these festivals. I know these people. I know what they're looking for and I know what they'll pay attention to. And especially festivals like Sundance, they have categories for Native American filmmakers. I'm going to be using real natives, and yes, we're females. Yes, we're working with you equally, and that's a category.
So what, do you fall under a Native American tribe being from Alaska?
No,
You don't?
I don't. I mean, because my parents moved up there actually as special ed teachers. Neither one of them are Native Alaskans. So, but
you are.
A lot of friends. Yeah, I'm from there, but it's also in my soul. These people raised me.
Yeah.
I was a baby. I probably knew more Inuit language.
You're very Dances with Wolves.
Very dances. I was raised by sled dogs.
Your Dances with Huskies. Dances with Huskies.
Oh my god! I'm gonna do that film next. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just
That'd
kidding.
be awesome.
This is a true piece of cinema. It tells a story, but it also champions some of the things we're talking about, and I hope that it will make people rethink their position on energy. And we'll be working with the Rockefellers. I'm gonna hunt these people down and say, look, this is a creative way for people to get the point and see how it affects human beings, see how it affects family and our lifestyle. It's not all gonna fall apart. It's just that the people that have so much money from oil will now have so much money from solar power. I mean, seriously, the world will not fall apart. We will just make it cleaner.
It's one of those, it's about time as humans that we take responsibility for our planet, because we haven't. We've ignored it for the most part. We've been focused
We've abused it.
on conquering other people and conquering more land.
It's very primitive.
And,
No wonder the aliens have stayed away. Can we get it together so they can come back and we can be
Pretty much.
reunited with the dinosaurs and everybody can go home happy?
We pretty much have maintained a pretty primitive outlook on mankind up until now. We're still fighting stupid wars over land and oil and resources.
And religious beliefs. I mean, hello, it's religion. Why would you fight about it?
We need to evolve already, people.
Right.
Because,
Ebola is. Hashtag Ebola.
yeah, look at the viruses. Everything on this planet has evolved but human beings.
Right.
And
the people that say our planet will adapt, it will, but it's not going to be for us.
it's not going to take us. We're not the most important thing on this planet. There are millions of other life forms on this planet that can probably survive better than we can.
adapt quicker. Absolutely.
an ice age. So they'll be around long after we're gone. So it's time that we wise up and make better choices.
Dinutopia.
Hashtag.
I don't even know. I'm not even good at hashtags. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you, Kitty, for having me. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you, and I'm glad my allergies died down.
Yeah.
See, it's just getting adjusted to the kitties.
We loved having Catman on. That was my. What was that?
I was kind of like a Wolfman cat.
Yeah, I was trying to be kind of Batman, but not really.
Wolfman cat. See what I did there?
Wolfman cat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, baby.
Thank you for listening to the Alley Cat Hour. Please listen to Catman's other pet project, Geek Speak TV. You can see it on YouTube and on Excite Radio if you go to our shows, as well as the Alley Cat Hour. And please go to Kickstarter.com. You can type in The Pipeline, or you can go to my Alley Cat Hour Facebook page, and we will have that information there as well. And we look forward to having you on as a producer. Thank you so much, guys. Have a lovely weekend.
Catman!
You're listening to KXSR, Excite Radio Los Angeles. Listen to the future.